News Radio, and good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey. Happy to have in studio with me today for Transit Talk, Christy Evans, the Operations Coordinator for Mason Transit Authority. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, sure. Good to have you on. And we're talking about van pooling. We started a conversation last week with Christina Fremont about van pooling, but talk a little bit more about it. It's always a great thing to do. So,
it is.
How does Mason Transit? What are the numbers for van pools? Is it a popular portion of the MTA?
It's not a huge popular portion of MTA. Our ridership for van pool is about, probably 18% of our total ridership.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. The numbers have been declining recently. I think part of that is due to the gas prices.
Sure.
But it's still a great, viable option.
Yeah.
As opposed to driving to work every day, especially if you have a long commute.
So the lower gas prices means more people go, well, I'm just going to drive myself.
Right. $2.50 versus what we were paying a couple of years ago.
Sure.
$4 a gallon makes it a lot. They say, $2.50, that's not bad.
The thing that I think about, though, with van pooling, and we see it on the pictures at MTA, you have one driver, and they, they're the driver, but then the rest of the folks, they have a chance to relax a little, sit back, especially on those long commutes. What are some of the routes that the van pools go on?
The majority of ours go towards Bremerton.
Okay.
We have one right now that comes from Shelton going to the correctional facility out Dayton Airport Road, but the majority of them go to the shipyard, PSNS, and Bangor.
Okay.
And they're coming from mainly Shelton and Belfer going that way. So they have a long commute, and it's really so congested and busy, heavy traffic going that way. It's a nightmare. So the good thing about the shipyard and Bangor, those employees get a transit benefit. So they're part of their, just like insurance, it's a benefit. So they get a commuter benefit that pays for some, or in some cases, all of their van pool cost. So
wow.
So they pay nothing out of pocket. Some pay some, as little as $6. Others pay nothing just because of the benefit that they get.
That is a pretty good deal.
It is really great. And that's the good thing, is that a lot of agencies in the more urban areas that have large companies, they offer some sort of benefit for people to van pool. And they may not know about it. It could be parking, because if you go to places like Seattle or anything, you have to pay for parking.
Oh, yeah.
So as a incentive, which a lot of agencies that have 100+ employees, they're mandated to have some sort of commute trip program for their employees. It's part of the CTR, the Commute Trip Reduction Act. And so they're required to provide some sort of program for their employees to encourage them not to drive by themselves.
Sure.
So there's the benefit of sometimes parking. It could be that they have a incentive for you to ride in a van pool, and so there's just all those sorts of little programs that you might not know about, even if you don't work for the shipyard.
Yeah.
So
is it the driver's van, or is it a MTA van?
Nope, it is an MTA van. So we pay for the maintenance, the fuel, and insurance and everything. We even provide the training for the driver, because you have to become an approved driver. You have to go through training, those insurance requirements on our end. And that's free. So there is no cost to start a van pool. And the only cost that you pay is that cost of the van pool, which could be as little as $50 a month.
Oh, wow.
Depending on how many people you have and how far you're traveling. Right now, the lowest is $50 per person currently that our groups are paying. And that's relatively low compared to, not just because when people take into their commuting expensive, it's not just the gas.
Right.
It's not just the fuel. There's the wear and tear on your vehicle. There's the maintenance cost, your tires, the oil changes, all that good stuff. So you could save $400 a month easily by van pooling. And then if you're commuting to places like Seattle, then you get to use the HOV lane and zip right through everybody else.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of benefits for that.
And if you're not the driver, you can read a book or take a nap. The stress, that's got to be a big thing too.
Sure.
After
not having to drive that commute. Who wants to drive 2 hours to Seattle?
No.
Or, I sure don't.
No, I sure don't either.
But if I did, I would be in a van pool because it'd be so much better. Extra sleep. You don't have to fight with the traffic. You have a trained driver who is held to a very high standard
Yeah.
for their driving. And, you get to sit back, relax, and, as the driver, you might even take on some, pride in the fact that you're doing this great thing for everybody. And there's not only just one driver. There's a couple drivers in the van pool group, so you're not left driving the whole time by yourself.
Where does the van stay at night?
Sure. So the driver gets to have an approved place to put it. Usually it's the driver's home, as long as they can provide off-street parking.
Okay.
But it could be left at a park and ride, or sometimes people make arrangements with, say, like a large grocery store to leave the van. It just, it needs to be a secure spot for everyone. So, but that's the benefit as the driver. You could take that van home with you.
Huh. That is a pretty good one. Is there a minimum number of people to start this?
Yes, you have to have 5 people. However, if you're just now starting a group, I'm a little bit lenient on that, too, because sometimes it takes a while to get it started.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have 5, but after a certain amount of time, you need to have 5 in the group to keep going.
Sure.
So, but I had one start with only 4, and they've grown now. They had 7 people, after a couple months. More people see the van coming and going from work, and
They
hey,
go, oh, what's that?
Right.
I want to get in on that.
Exactly.
I guess anything less than 4 would just be carpooling.
It would be. It's the state minimum is 5 to be considered a van pool.
Okay.
So there are state requirements for it, but as far as starting out, because you want them to start.
Yeah.
So you don't want somebody to be discouraged saying, oh, I only have 4 people. You still want them to start because sometime they'll get it. And right now we have some really great promotions going on.
Tell me about it.
So as a new driver, you can, if you start a group, you get a $50 gift card.
Okay.
As a new rider, you get your first month free or a $25 gift card. And if you recruit somebody to become a driver and starts a group, you get a $20 gift card just by referring somebody, basically, to the van pool program. And then right now, from now, started August 1st to the end of November, we have a ridership incentive going on. So if you ride in the van at least, I forgot how many days now. I believe it is 16 or 19 days out of the month.
More than 1, but less than 30.
Right, exactly. You get entered into a drawing in December for $200.
Oh, wow.
So if you ride, and then if you ride every day that the van's in service, you get 2 entries into it. So we want to encourage people to take full advantage of what they're paying for.
Is there, so I know you do some checks and the driver has to eventually have some further documentation. Is for the safety of the other riders, do you guys look into the backgrounds of anybody else that's part of it? Or?
We don't do background checks. However, we do have a full history on their driving record.
Oh, okay.
So, and no background checks. We used to do that. We kind of moved away from it. You're holding on to, on a public agency side, and holding on to personal information.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
So, and those require Social Security numbers and all that good stuff. So we've kind of moved away from that. Majority of employers do their own background check now.
Oh, that's true.
So we moved away from that.
Okay. How do you sign up? What do you call? What is the website?
You call me.
Okay.
That's your first step, is to call me, and then I would walk you through it. My phone number, my direct line is 360-432-5725, and I would help you out. So that's your first step. You can also go to rideshareonline.com and find people who have a similar commute as you and connect with them to start your own group. I also have a list of people that are waiting to find a group, because the current ones I have just don't suit their commute.
Interesting. Rideshareonline.com. It's kind of like one of those old community bulletin boards. I'm driving to Portland next week. I need a ride.
Yeah, and they do that too. They do it for events, one-time trips, carpools, van pools.
Nice.
Sure. And the really nice thing about that is even they do their own promotions every month on there. So if you log your trips on rideshare.com that you're carpooling or even vanpooling, you can be entered into their prizes.
Well, relax, because there's more than one way to get there, and vanpooling is one of them. Christy Evans on the air with us, the operations coordinator for Mason Transit. Thank you very much for providing me with some of this information.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Good stuff. 8:24 now at iFiber One News Radio. We'll be right back after this check on entertainment news.
ABC Entertainment News. Here's